Hello. Hello. I am so sorry. I didn't know YouTube makes you prepay to do live. So I'm trying to get this out. I was going to try to do it, go live tomorrow, but I'm having family and I don't want to do anything on Friday evenings. And I took notes, but all my notes are jacked up. I'm just be honest. So I am going to rummage through my papers and do this the best way that I can. But these past 3 episodes they've been great to me. Shoot, I've been liking them. And I hope we get an answer. Like if they're going into season 5, when they said that they are going to tell what's going on in season 4, I hope they do that because I have a lot of theories and I want to see if my theories are correct. And I think I had, look, I'm a boast. I think a couple of my theories have been wrong, but you know, that's just me boasting. So look over me. But also in between time, I already said I have a bunch of stuff going, but I had like, and I've also in my video stated that I had depression. So in my depression, I have been watching old episodes, and come to think of it, I think I've been watching old episodes where I finally paid attention to at least one of the episodes they said pay attention to get answers. Get clues, not answers, but to get some clues. And one of them was Silhouette. Let's see if I can find my notes, what I have on Silhouette. Um, I'm sorry, I told you I'm gonna rummage through these. Okay, let me stop because if I start rummaging, I'm gonna get out of order. And I was out of order about what the heck is this? Oh, oh. Oh, I need this note. I need this note right here because it was something, and I don't know if it goes with 2 or 3. I need these notes. Okay, so we're going to start with episode 2. Episode 2 was The Fray. And I got a chance because I tried to revert my notes on paper. And I did a horrible job. I'm just wanting you to know. I can't lose that. That's one of my notes, even though I don't know where it goes. But let me tell you something. I have been saying in my commentary about this show that I'm gonna call them ghouls. That's what I know. I know the common term for it are monsters. But I believe if they're not vampires, they're one step from it. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel about it. And my daughter was correcting me on that because she was like, well, I wouldn't say they're vampires. I would say they're ghouls. And I forgot what she said. But then if you ever watched A Vampire from Brooklyn, she kind of has a point. She has a point. Because a lot of people rag on A Vampire in Brooklyn. Okay. I had to think about it because I thought I was saying the title wrong. But it was actually a good movie to me. Eddie Murphy did a good job. To me, Eddie Murphy is a good impersonator. He mimics well. I think he's in tune also to a little other cultures. That's what makes him a good mimic. And when Kadeem Hardison, when he attached to him, he was prepping him, and he was a ghoul. And then once the vampire, which I forgot what the vampire's name was in A Vampire in Brooklyn, once he died, Kadeem Hardison graduated to vampire. And I think he said something like he didn't deserve, or he had to basically walk the walk before he could be a vampire or full fledged. I want to take my eyeglasses off so bad because I stare at a computer all day and my eyes are burning. And if I don't wear these, I wouldn't be able to see. But I want to take them off so bad. Yeah, so that's why I'm going with Ghoul. Because if you watch a lot of horror movies too, some vampires do not look like a vampire in Brooklyn. They don't look like Twilight. They don't look like the little um trilogy of Blade, even though he's a daywalker, or Dracula. I remember one came out in the late '90s. He was kind of sexy, but they're not all gonna be sexy. The original vampire movie, he looked crazy. So, and then on top of that, the blood, the organs they take out. So, not all vampires are going to be on that same mainstream level of folklore. But anyway, I feel like they play with the people in the town way too much. I'm gonna say this again. Like, most of the things, let's take the jukebox. With that jukebox, they play with people. When Acosta was in the diner and Frank Sinatra's "Let the Cloud Bring in the Clowns," that was meant for her. This recent episode, the song they played, that's playing with somebody. And then, okay, the episode, I'm scared to miss with my notes. I think it's Silhouettes. Silhouette. I noticed that the scene right when Sarah tries to kill Ethan and she kills her brother instead, and Boyd is sitting there talking to Christy about what? No, is that right? Is that the right one? Is that the right scene? Is that the right scene? Because if there wouldn't be then, because this is the time where he's trying to talk to Father Khatri for a sign. And when he's talking to Christy, the song that came on about Tonto and his horse, I think that's the song. And I also think it was about around the time they played that song, about around the time they knew that Father Khatri hid Sarah. So one of the things I had said in one of my videos is I feel like something doesn't add right with the timeline, like with the reincarnation of the settlers jumping into everyone's body. I feel like the timeline with Tabitha being, what's Victor's mom's name? Miranda. Is that right? We're going to pretend, if it's wrong, we're going to pretend like it's Miranda. I think it is. But anyway, I was saying it didn't make sense to me because Tabitha looks like she was already born, maybe a toddler at the time when Miranda was, at the tree and met Smiley. So to me, old school reincarnation would be time the child is born. And then I have seen horror movies where it took over after a child was born. So I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I do think they maneuver in ways when they know people in the town are making certain. Girl, Malisha. Hey, girl, okay, get your butt down. I think they make maneuvers where when people in the town move a certain way, they move in a way that would be work for them. Just like I said in one of my videos, it confused me about how Fatima got pregnant when she was saying that she was feeling sickness or she was feeling weird before Boy got rid of Smiley. I feel like they put that in there first because they knew that Boyd had went down in the tunnels, and I'm starting to think like I don't know if Martin was a premonition or actually Boyd could have story walked and didn't even know it. And the reason why he story walked was that's the destination that they decided when he went into the tree. But I feel like they get prepared. I'm gonna just be honest. I feel like they get prepared. So once they see something happens, they move accordingly so it would benefit them more than it would benefit the townspeople. Okay, I had to get that out. So let's start with episode 2, The Fray. And let me get my notes that I have scattered everywhere. And that's what made me drift off because excuse me, I didn't mean to burp. Okay. Yeah, I really mucked up my notes. Okay. So when the episode starts off with what's the name of the group? Soul Asylum and the song Good Morning. I had to look that up because to do this post, I had to watch the episode a third time. I paid attention first time, but it didn't lock in because I have, stuff going on. And let me stop saying that because I don't want to keep talking about that while I'm talking to you guys. But the second time is like, and then when I was like, okay, I'm going to go live. I need to know. That's when I paid attention. So sad. But, the first time, I'm not going to lie. The first time I heard the song, even though we know Jim is not with us anymore, I kind of laughed because I'm like, how they keep playing with people like this? Like, it is, and then to play Celebration when they kill Kenny's mom with some bull. That was so evil. That was just so evil. But, that song plays. They wake up. Boyd wakes up. And then we hit the encounter with Elgin and Boyd. And Boyd in his threats, he kills me. He lets, Elgin, look, all these dang E's are getting on my nerves. He lets Elgin know that they have to come up with a story, him and Fatima. One is he got messed up because he was trying to save Fatima. That's one. The things he said to him in Donna's room. And if he didn't play along because Elgin tried to resist the resistance, that he was going to tell everybody that he killed Tilly and he was putting him in the box. And that's the thing. I feel like that's what this place does because they can't keep you safe. They keep you safe. If you stay safe, they have nothing to torture and eat. They need that hunt. They need that food, so they need to cause tension and chaos for you to, not for you, but for them to have something to eat. And then I put in my notes, like, some of this stuff that's being done proves Jim and I's theory about the chaos. They're pushing for chaos and tension. Not for what Jim said as far as, the government experiments, but for them to get what they want. Because it was something else I thought about. I'm going off my notes. Talking about they feed off of hope and fear and all that. Like they kept interchanging and switching. And that's my opinion. I feel like they're going to feed off tension, anger, hope, fear. They're going to feed off of all of that. But it'll be easier to make you give up so they can get what they want. If you just say, oh, forget it, I'm tired of waiting, and just run out while they're, it's going to be easier for them. But I digress. Because I'm gonna start rambling, and I don't want to do that either. So I flipped over something. Okay, so the song, and then the scene with Victor and his father. That scene kind of got to me. It made me want to cry because you're looking at Victor, and he's been there for so long, and he's seen so much, and anything can push him away. Because I also thought about when Jay was trying to pick his brain to see how could they leave. But imagine being there since you're like between 8 and 12. That's all you know, and that's all you've seen. Victor, you might as well say at this point that he's autistic at this point, because he has some of the mannerisms of hitting himself when the pressure gets too high. Like, this place almost made him autistic, and he can't really verbalize his emotions, or when he's scared or anything like that. And then his dad is there. Victor didn't get a chance to be a child, and Victor's father, Henry, is there, and he really didn't get a chance to be a father. So to see, it's weird, and then it's heartbreaking, because you see an old man coddling his son as if they were in their prime of life, which he probably was late 20s, early 30s or something when they disappeared. And they are both, going back in time as far as their relationship. It's not as if they both lived together all these years. Henry had time to mold Victor, for Victor to become whoever he's supposed to be as a man. It's none of that. It's like pure, this is my 8-year-old son. I'm the father, and I need to. Because when he first said that, first I was like, Henry, you lost your damn mind talking about I'm going to protect you now. I don't know how he's going to protect him in a world like that, but I can see why he's saying that, because he missed out on that. He missed out on it. But I mean, I almost cried. That episode my daughter watched with me, she almost cried. Like, we both almost bawled out in tears, because it's just so sad, because of a situation that, I think I have to burp. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That they were basically forced into, really didn't give them a chance to live a life. Then the next one, I had to make this a point too, because I had to write down notes, because there were points that I had to make. And then, like, these last few episodes, I've just been winging it. But it's like points that I'm trying to make, and I've been trying to avoid watching other people post, because sometimes I feel like their commentary really goes out there. But the other thing is, Victor said that his father didn't need to be there. He's good. This place takes everything good. But Acosta is and I'm going to jump and flip flop. Acosta is saying everybody is evil there. She doesn't deserve to be there. Like, she's the only good. I'm trying not to curse. She's the only good person there. Girl, bye. You coming to hell thinking you righteous. All right. Okay. Anyway, bye. I can't stand Acosta, because Acosta was who I thought Randall would be. But Randall right now has made a better comeback than Acosta. Randall, you might as well say, was who Acosta was when he got there. But at this point, with these 2 episodes, Randall realized where he was. She has not. And I'm going to try to hold off what I'm trying to say until I get to, and I hope I remember, because I'm trying to keep from saying what I want to say because it's too early right now. Because what I want to say is about her is in the scene with her and Boyd when he asked her to go through all the things that the people had been there previously, that passed away. And she, okay, let me shut up. I'm gonna try to shut up. But okay, next, you know what? I'm gonna just wing it because I got crapola everywhere. And let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try to put these two notes together. When Julie went to Randall, is the start of her messing up. That's what the start was. Her telling him about her story walking, and he's trying to stop her, and she just adamant about flanking up. She's adamant about it, and she doesn't because, again, Ethan told you once a story is told, you cannot change it. And then, like I said, when the man in yellow, asked her when her and Jim and the man in yellow was by the RV, did anybody ever tell you that once the story is told that you can't change the story? And I'm like, yeah, her brother, but her dumb thinking she can, and she cannot. And her asking him to go to the ruins, I kind of understand that too. And my daughter had a theory about her, Marielle, and Randall, because she was trying to say that all three of them could probably story walk because they were all in that same ruin dungeon. They got basically picked to get tortured. So there, and I agree that they have a certain type of special place in that story with the town, and they might have a certain type of power, but I didn't think they all could story walk though. Like it's something with Randall and Marielle, but we just don't know what it is just yet. Right now we just know Julie can story walk. So I agree with her on that one. But I understand why Julie, made him go in first, because she was probably thinking the same thing my daughter was thinking, and using him as a safeguard too, because if he couldn't story walk, he could pull her out, because she already had that experience when she took her little brother Ethan, and Ethan had to run and go get somebody else to pull her out of the ruins. So I understand that she tried to taste test it, take it for a joyride, take it for a test drive, so she'll know what to do. Well, not know what to do. She'll have a way out, if something happens. But I'm still pissed off at her because there's nothing you can do at this point. Story walking, you're basically just watching the story. If you can, it really is no point if you can't change the story. So why not? Anyway, I digress. But that's what she wanted to do. Tabitha being angry with Jade is dumb to me. And this is the main reason why it's stupid to me, because your husband told you and Jade to back off. Did y'all do it? Now I can see Jade. Jade doesn't have to answer to anybody, but you brush past your husband in that trailer, happy to go play his song. So you need to take some blame. You really do. And another reason why I think it's stupid, because I think she really has a crush on him. And she probably feels it because they are someone else basically in another body. But all this being angry with Jade and lashing out at him, I don't understand it. Then on top of that, watching these episodes again, I'm really starting to think that Jim and Tabitha. Didn't care about Thomas, didn't care about Ethan, or didn't care about Julie. They just only cared about each other. It's just that Jim cared more for Tabitha than Tabitha cared about Jim. At this point, that's the way I feel about it. And that's sad. Because, okay, going to this, he was right to tell Dum Dum to watch your kids. And that's why I'm saying that I don't think they ever cared about their kids, because you getting pissed off and he's telling you this and you're not hearing this for no reason at all, because Jim got a ghost call from y'all toddler. And the reason why I say he's a toddler, he was on the changing table. What's wrong with y'all? Because if he was 2 years old on the changing table, something wrong with y'all. I'm just saying. He was on the changing table, so I'm assuming that I have to take these off for a minute. I'm assuming that he was not walking, barely talking. So that's another reason when he got that ghost phone call from Thomas, that wasn't Thomas, and y'all falling for it. And then my favorite, Matthews, is disappointing me these last 2 episodes. And I know grief can make you stupid, but please stay the smartest Matthews out of the family. Ethan, please, because I can't take your mama and your sister. I just cannot take them. I really can't. I'm just saying. All right, so I can't look. Ethan is the only one I like in that whole family. Too bad Jim died. And then that's the thing, that one episode when Tabitha was going, coming up the basement and she was going up the stairs of the lighthouse and Jim, was hanging upside down. We should have known Jim was a goner then, because it also replicated, him in the RV crash. And I've heard a few people commenting on this on their reviews, about that. I think it was like one person. It was a long time ago. I don't even remember about it being equivalent to the RV crash. And then I think I seen one person saying something about it. I'm sorry, excuse me. I should have had the stand on this. My mouth is dry. I'm gonna try to keep going. Oh, Acosta. I hit my daughter on this scene when Acosta dumb self hopped out of the diner and tried to leave the town on the ambulance. Girl, what you think you finna do? And watching episode 3, you didn't do not a damn thing. You didn't do a cotton picking thing. You're gonna drive in circles and waste gas. It doesn't make sense at all. At all. And you thought you were the only righteous person that was gonna click the wheels 3 times and be in Kansas? Like, none of that made any sense. Again, in one of my videos, I said the only reason why Tabitha ended up in Maine, because I felt like Victor's lunchbox was a conduit to get her there. There's no telling where she would have went. And I think the boy in white knew that. Ooh, and then that was another thing I wanted to get into. So her hopping in the van, hopping in the ambulance, then trying to push Christy out of it. I was like, she lost her damn mind. She lost it. You just and okay, let me go. Where am I? Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay, that goes with my 4. I mean my 3. And let's see. Is this 2? We're gonna pretend like it's 2. To me, the most exciting thing, and if this scene was in episode 2 or 3, I think it was 2, when it had to be 2 because I forgot 3 that quick. We're gonna pretend like, hey, we're gonna pretend like it. Let's correct me in the comments. Just correct me. So the most exciting scene was when Jim thought he heard Julie. So it's two. It's two. He heard Julie's voice when he looked out the window of the RV because it's like, oh, that's why they stopped. That's what I thought at first, but watching it again, I'm like, okay, with her story walking, was there a time rift that made them pause? And at first, when the episode was fresh, me personally, I was thinking that they sensed Smiley's bio because he's basically one of them, and that's why they stopped. But that may not be it. And the other thing is, Julie almost died twice in this scene. She almost got shot by Boyd when Boyd started shooting, and then she almost died by one of the nurses. How many nurses they need and they don't heal anybody? Because it's two chicks running around there in 1950 nurses outfit. So I said this in my other videos. I think the 50s is their favorite decade because it's like a couple of them. Well, the Wild Wild West dude, but that still might be 30s or 40s. It's close to that. And then the dude I call Julie's boyfriend, I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I don't want to forget this. With her story walking, in the first scene when old boy was like, "Hi, Julie, remember me?" She had to have seen him at this point, and I want to say I hope I'm wrong, but I don't care. I just want to answer at this point because it bugs me. Because I was like the episode where, what is that? Episode 10, where in season 3, where Smiley was born. I'm like, why is Julie boyfriend in the midst of the circle? And then I'm gonna put, if I can't put it in this video, I'm gonna put on my wall a Reddit post that my daughter sent, because this is another theory. This is, and it's good. When Victor first met Julie, the person was saying she might have been story jumping because Victor has always been standoffish towards people. But even Ethan, he didn't just warm up to. He drew a picture of Julie while she was asleep. And then the first interaction, I'm trying not to burp, I'm so sorry. First interaction, he just talked to her with ease. So he remembered her, but she didn't remember him because she's story walking. And then on top of that, when he drew the picture, he was like, I always thought stuff were dreams, but sometimes, I find out, I'm a paraphrase it in my own way. I remember that is real. So she might have been story walking. That's how Victor knew who she was. So one of the ghouls, she ran up on him story walking, and she doesn't even remember. So I enjoy the show. Like, you can come up with different theories about what's going on and see if they're true. And I was getting ready to say, and plus, like I've said in all of my videos, like I'm gonna throw reading in there. I used to read a lot, and I used to watch all kinds of stuff and stuff I don't remember. If you're a person who likes to watch different things, you kind of know where these, and like I said, when I was getting my degree for graphic design, I was going to go through animation, and I was doing script writing, and they said there's no other way to write a script. They all go through this one formula. You're just telling your story through your thought process. That's all that is. There's really nothing new except for someone's perception on how they're writing a story. But I had to throw that in there. But when the nurse lady jumped on, I'm shocked because usually when I drift off, I don't even go back to the same story. That's why I need notes because I can't. If I go off on the deep end without notes, we're gonna start talking about recipes for apple pies. I'm just gonna tell you. Uh, when the nurse lady jumped on Julie, to be honest, when the trailer for season 4 came out, I thought that was Jim. To be honest, I thought it had switched because she had messed up, told another story, and Jim ended up being killed by one of the nurse ladies. But it was her, and her crying for Randall. I was like, girl, I want to slap you because you didn't ask anybody if anybody could hear you talking when you were in the ruins. And okay, I'm gonna give her grace. Maybe she asked Ethan, after it was over, and Ethan was like, "No, I went and got Kenny and the new lady to get on everybody's damn nerves." Who knows, But he couldn't tell her anything because he wasn't there. All he knows is that she was seasoned. That's all. But I hope she asked Randall, and he told her no. I just decided to pull you out because you was about to die. Anyway, let's see, what is it? I got my time shift question out. Acosta driving in that ambulance. You're talking about you're a good person, but you was really willing to risk a child's life that's walking on a desert road in Creepy Town land. Deserted road, I'm sorry. He's walking on a deserted road in Creepy Town land. But you're so nice. You are the only person. And you looked at the boy and said, forget him. Seriously, lady? Okay. And one thing I agree with her when she was talking to Christy in the ambulance is that there's a way out that they just haven't found it yet. Usually in this type of situation that something breaks the deal, something breaks the curse, but it doesn't break it like forever, but it breaks it to where they can get out. That's what I'm thinking. Something can break it where they can get out, but they're not going to risk that because they can still bring people in. And if it's a way to get out and they can stay out without looping back, because that's when they find that way out to break whatever's going on there, they have to break the deal to the point where they don't loop back. That's another thing you have to consider, because when Tabitha got away, based on how stories go, I knew she was coming back. I'm so sorry. And then I kind of laughed when the ambulance ambulance got back from town. I'm so sorry. I did, but I was wrong. It's 3 left shoes, but I did. Yeah, I agree with her on that. Let me find my other note. It was something else. That wasn't it. Okay. I'm telling you, I have notes everywhere. Okay. Let's see if I talked about everything on that. I started to write these notes. I think I had 3 pages left. Hold on. Oh, I meant to say this. I feel like, okay, let me go on this side. Okay, so the season 1, episode 5, and I don't know if this was silhouettes, but Jim saying that something is missing. We don't see it yet. That's why I feel like another reason that validates my point that the pressure goes on, so they don't see how they can break up out of that. And when I said that something happens, wait a minute, what was it earlier? Because I wrote down Boyd and Christy's talk during the in the diner after Sarah kills her brother. I think that is when the song about Tonto and the horse, when he was begging for the boat from, I hate to say begging, that sounds horrible, but when he kept pressuring his wife to buy the boat, and he always played that song. And episode one, I didn't write down the episode, but season one book episode, the book 74, when Katri had hid Sarah, and Sarah, I should have wrote down what she was saying, but she was like, they're trapped. That part where she said they were trapped, I'm thinking she was hearing the kids. So in some instances with certain people, they might be in tune to how they receive stuff. Like when Fatima told Elgin when they went to the Brundles, someone there said that the place was talking to all of them, but not all, everybody hears it. So I think with Tabitha, she's seen the children. Jade at first was seeing Christopher, but then he started seeing the children after he kept going searching for answers. Excuse me. And Sarah was hearing I think she heard. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I think she was hearing the children and the monsters underground. And I don't think I wrote that down. But another thing is when I think I did, because I think that's in episode 3. And while I have this piece of paper, episode 7, Kevin, the one who brought Sabrina into the colony house. In one of my commentary videos, I stated that myself that they had to be once human, because she told Kevin that she didn't want to be this way. And one of the things I was saying in a few of my videos is, with whoever Tabitha and Jade is supposed to be from the settlers, and they keep coming back, and I said that something has to be fulfilled if they keep coming back. Was it a 2-part to this deal that they didn't fulfill? That's why they are coming back. And it also intervened with saving the children. Because to me, it has to connect to tell why they are coming back. Because obviously these children weren't saved because they salty and they ashy right now with little strands of hair. And, this has been about 100 years. So they're not going to look. But we know they didn't live to 95. We know that. So they did get sacrificed. But why, if they got sacrificed and they were not successful in saving the kids, why are they coming back? That was another thing. So I got rid of that. You don't need to see that. I got rid of that. And we're going to go to season 4. Because I think these notes. No. Let me go back. I did say that. Okay. Okay. I didn't say this because at the bottom I keep looking over there. Sophia trying on glasses in the storage unit was hilarious to me. Because, girl, you don't need any glasses. You little demon from Hades, you do not need glasses. and it to me, she's told she him, as Bobby said on on King of the Hill, is playing with these people, and it's funny to me. Sarah's trying to go on her road of redemption by helping her. She's trying to feel like the person she was before. Kudos for her. But Sophia was playing when she asked her, did she have family here? Because she knew. She knew what happened. And then the scene, I'm going to put that on my wall. If you look in the back, there was a genie lamp. So this is two, because I pointed this out to my daughter. Girl. Yeah. Come here. So I pointed that out to my daughter that there was a genie lamp. So I connected that with, making wishes and making deals. You're going to have to get down, stank butt. Okay. So I connected that to, okay, wait. Making deals and making wishes. And I think that's a little play in the scene. Like, that's a little play on words. That may be a hint. And it may be guiding to something. But I hope time will tell. So I have 3 notes left. So if these 3 are a mix of 2 and 3, these 3 little sheets of paper, I told you I was doing this at work. So if these 3 is a mix of 2 and 3, please forgive me. Please. So, episode 3 was Merrily We Go. The encounter with Elgin and Fatima was interesting. I thought it was endearing that Fatima, to me right now, has a better understanding than most people, because she knew that they both were victims. And I'm not saying with Kenny and Sarah he wasn't, but I probably would hold a grudge if you just let somebody, torch my dad just because of a lie. And it's kind of the same thing with Fatima, but she's holding it better than Kenny, because I think he still, after she took out Kenny's eye, I think he still wants to drop kick her. But it's like, what do you do? Because we're all in, I don't think they still understand, we're all in this situation where we can be used. But I think it's just tunnel vision. Oh, you've been used, and we know this place does stuff to people, but I don't think they're really grasping that they all can be, in the same predicament. I watched this episode, 3 times too, and I didn't pay attention that she asked for his help. Like, I heard it in the first one, I didn't pay attention. Again, I didn't pay attention to the second. Then when it came down to the third, I was like, oh, that makes sense why that happened in that scene. But I didn't pay attention. I didn't remember, and I didn't pay attention the second time, and then it hits me. Boys dream about what I'm about to call her Millie, Abby, did in the town. Is his connection to Acosta. And I'm sorry, even though we didn't see much of Boyd's wife, I think she's more useful. Oops. And Acosta in the cell moping, talking about, oh, I don't know who that was yesterday. Girl, that was you. That was you. It was all you. You might feel a little sorrow. You might have a little, what I want to say, grief is not it. a little remorse for what you did, and it's probably about this much of it. But that was you. That was you. I put down it was her because she thinks she knows everything. And then that scene where she sits up there and tells, well, you think Boyd knows it all and he doesn't know jack crap. Girl, you don't either. Because you're driving around in an ambulance thinking you're going to hit a portal where you can just go back to Maine. And you ended right back in the town of from. Let's see. I said in my notes, she thinks she knows everything and she demands answers. And you still don't fathom where you are, because how the hell do you demand answers to things that you shot point blank in areas that would take people down? They kept walking towards you. Okay. Sophia taking... Okay. Let me start over. Because right at this point, I put in my notes that I miss Kenny and Christy. And I got this when they all walked out of the clinic to give Sophia time to bereave. This girl did not. This girl did not grieve anyone with her lying self. That smiling and praying while she had her back towards everybody, it's like, I'm sorry, it's like if you had a warped sense of humor like I do, I'm like, this girl sitting up here laughing because she knows that she killed this man, and everybody thinking that she boo-hooing and crying, and she's not doing that at all. Let's see. When she took the tooth, this is the main point I want to bring. When she took the tooth out of the priest's mouth, made me wonder if that's the reason why the boy in white told Victor to take pieces of the people who like died, who were not there. I'm trying to clean up my things so YouTube with my words, that were laying on the ground after everything went bad, as a keepsake for the man in yellow. Because if you take this tooth and you're talking about I forgot what she said, that sounds like a keepsake. So if you're taking these keepsakes, and he said they like to collect stuff, so did Victor forget that the boy in white told him he needed that for the man in yellow to leave him alone, or let's say forget a or, and for the people, the monsters, to leave him alone too? And if I'm not mistaken, some folklore of genies, if I'm wrong, I can be corrected, but I think it is some type of folklore where one of the magical creatures that keep them from doing harm, they needed stuff. And I think leprechauns borderline on that. Like the old, I'm not sure, because like I said, I used to read and I used to watch a lot of movies, and some of the stuff I'm saying is going to intertwine sometimes when I do these commentaries off of something I've remembered reading or watching. So bear with me, take what you want out of whatever I say, cut and paste whatever you need to, but I think that's something that I seen before or read before. Jay snapping on Boyd was funny. It's like he realized who he was snapping on, but it was funny. When he asked Boyd, did he have any drugs? I was wondering. Acid. I was wondering when they were going to make the drug connection. I didn't want anybody to take drugs, but I was sort of thinking that kind of opened the portal for Miranda when she took the drugs. So she may have, if she didn't, she could have went a long time without going there. She probably would have went there when she was old because she didn't fulfill her purpose as a young person if she didn't take that. And she still didn't because she, Smiley got her at the tree. But I was wondering about that. But also, when I get to that point, I have something else to say because it goes along with me saying that place plays with people. I did agree with Boy where he said, hold off on the drugs. We don't need, your mind messed up because you're not going to get what you think you're going to get out of it when you take these drugs. And the warning, I appreciate that, we need to get more in the practice of, we need to watch what we're doing while we're looking for answers because we don't need any more casualties. So that warning that Boy gave Jade, hey, that was well needed. And then back to Acosta, talking about she a good person, but you pushed the cripple lady on top of I forgot, this went with my other notes. You pushed the cripple lady trying to propelling through a portal, trying to leave a place that you cannot leave. I'm gonna jump ahead and then probably jump back. When Ethan went to the RV to talk to the fake real Thomas to try to help their dad, my daughter had a theory because this is episode 2. I told you I'm gonna flip flop my notes everywhere. Episode 2. She said that she thinks that wasn't Jim, which I believe that too. But, and I'm going to put it in my terms, that the monsters are basically, I had a term, but now I forgot it. They, in the daytime, can perpetrate the people of the town that passed. So they're projecting, that's what I was trying to say, either while they're sleeping in the caves or I know sometimes they be awake because when Victor and his dad went in there, they told him if he keeps coming down here, they're going to make him stay. So they either could be doing this while they're down there awake or sleepy. And I kind of got that theory and I was like, maybe I'm wrong. But first time Cartry came to Boyd, and then not the first time, but one of those times when he asked him, "What are you?" I seen my dad wife last night. So what are you? And he claimed, "Well, boy, you have to answer that question." Like they're playing again because they're mimicking them enough to get Jade, Ethan, and Boyd, fooled. But to me, when you listen to those conversations, they're kind of off. Like, Tom was a funny guy. But when Jade asked him about the tree, why are you wiping that glass? And he said, well, man does what he does. I'm like, would he really say that? Though? And, like, the suspicions were there for me, but I really didn't, want to solidify because I'm like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they're hallucinating. Maybe they're dealing with grief. But, no. After this scene with Ethan, I'm sorry, I feel like I can't mull over that. Like, they're not doing that to these people. Because, to me, it would make sense because the main objective is to have them running like chickens with their eggs cut off. So, and if you do that, they're not going to try to look. They're not, or they can direct them into different, because that shanickety about the lake of tears, go find it, I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't. Hope I'm wrong, but no, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe it. Okay, let me get back on track. Oh, this is what another reason, because she pointed out that Jim was looking around, and At first I was thinking, okay, maybe they're trying to make it look like he's in writing standpoint that he's trying to watch out for the man in yellow because he's recreating his death. In some movies they say a person they die tragically, they recreate their death. But when he disappears, when he hears Ethan's name being called, that's kind of a good theory. No, it's a good theory because he's been looking around and he's confused, and that's another reason why I say it may be them projecting, because in a sense it could be somebody who are they're not used to doing this and is new to this, so they're not going to be good at it. And then you got to think about, they can make Ethan look crazy if he's the only one who sees him. But jumping ahead, it's good that Jade listened to him when he brought it up to Jade. So I do like that because he's in a place where everything happens, but he doesn't need to be treated as though, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. He doesn't need to be treated as though he's crazy. And I'm sorry, I have to drink water. My mouth is dry. I'm talking for over an hour. I wanted to do this live because I knew it was going to go over an hour. I'm like smacking to get water because my mouth is dry. Talking for an hour. Okay. Better because my mouth is dry as I don't know what. So, I want to burp in your ear, mouth, ear, face, whatever. I don't want to do that. But, excuse me for burping too, on top of that. I had to come to the conclusion that that's what that might be. That they may be projecting, and pretending to be those people's loved ones, to cause confusion. So yeah, raw 100, yeah, if you know who that is. I feel like Fatima, excuse me, no, I'm sorry again, and I'm getting it mixed up because Fatima and Phantom, I feel like Fatima is feeling phantom pregnancy. I